They have not moved enough. I think there's still a lot of place where this relationship with pharma and patient organization need to evolve. We are getting support from pharma, but I think we still need to be more involved in, for example, in the research R&D process with the drug development. They are not involving us. We just had a meeting with a pharma company that is starting 2 new trials that we as patients feel that those trials are not set up and not suitable for CML patients. We just met with them and we told them that they made a big mistake not involving the patients from the design process, and this will backfire at the company. It will be much harder to recruit patients to participate in those trials, and we are starting to see involvement of patients in research, but still it's moving very slowly, and we wish this process will start moving much faster. On the other hand, we have to take into account that we need to have educated advocates to be sitting on the table in a clinical trial development process. It needs to have a special knowledge. So I know that you are going to talk with my colleague Jan Geisler, and he will talk about this topic in much more depth when you talk to him. But I think our challenges are lack of resources, and the resources are mainly time resources, because we want to help so many patients. There are so many patients out there that it's very difficult to reach all of them and all the patient organization. And actually, basically, most of us are volunteers, that everything that we do is on our own time. And you heard all the projects we are doing. It takes a lot of hours, a lot of time. So time is a resource that we don't have enough. We need to employ logistic agency that will support us, that needs also financial support. So that's also, it's difficult to raise in these days with difficult times to raise donations and grants, but we do the best. And I'm sure that there are many other gaps, but and I think that gaps of access to treatment. We see that patients in many, many countries around the world, but also in Europe, still don't have access to the new treatments. We are sitting here at ASH and listening to the new treatments coming out. They are amazing, they are life-saving, and still so many patients cannot reach them because the cost is so high and the prices, and they are not being reimbursed in so many countries. So it's a great frustration for patients and also for us patient advocates. It's a challenge. I can just give an example from my CML patient organization in Israel. We started in 2000 with 7 patients, and now I think in Israel there are about 800 CML patients, and we have reached 400 are members of our organization. So they get regular updates, monthly updates, either by mail or by letters. So that's a very high percentage, 50% of the patients in a certain specific disease in one country to belong to a patient organization. That's way above the average, because the average is about 10% of patients who join patient organization activities. So the only way we can reach those patients who are not online is through the doctors, through the hematologists. And we need to work very hard on this perspective. In Israel, I've managed to do it because that's 15 years of work, and the doctors and hematologists learned that we can bring added value, something that the doctors cannot do. They don't have the time, they don't have the resources, but we as patient advocates can calm the patient at the beginning when they are diagnosed. We can escort them, we can give them the peer-to-peer support, we can give them the emotional support, something that is missing in our healthcare system. So slowly, we are building this confident partnership, and that's the way how the doctors are now referring almost every patient who is diagnosed to our organization. My definition will be a true 100% partnership. That means when you're doing any activity, when you're designing a clinical trial, when you're developing a drug, when you plan any activity of your pharma company, you need to have somebody from the patient community, equal partner on the table. The same way that they are taking doctors, sitting in an advisory board and planning, patients should be there. They should be equal partner. When you develop an advisory board, you should be part of the development of the process of the advisory board. The pharma company are looking at us, when they put patient-centric, they are looking at us as advisors. So sometimes they are willing to listen to our advices, sometimes they are ignoring them. So that's, in my point of view, that's not a true patient-centric.